We're live!
Are we live?
We're live!
Alright. Welcome everybody to week 12 of Early Access of Savage Lands. Fully apologize right off the start that we were starting a little bit late. Technical troubles on my end. As you all know, I just moved and the internet not so hot right now. So that will be resolved for next week and we will be back on time, on schedule, going forward. So thank you very much for your patience while you're waiting. And Chris was panicking and calling me and going, oh my god, where you are? And I'm like, I'm trying to get there, I promise. So, I am your community manager, Kittychix, through the interwebs. Over there is your game director, Chris Euryidium Rubior. Wow, I got that right this week. Say hello, Chris.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're. Oh, I'm sorry. I was busy looking at the panels and buttons, and I was mesmerized for a second there. Hello, everybody. It's great to see. I'm watching Skype over here, going, "There's a connection problem. I don't know. Chloe may go away in just a second." So that's what's distracting me.
No.
So anyway, hello, everybody, and to all of you that have been following us, as well as all of you new players that have kind of jumped in through the sale and are now part of the Savage Lands community team. Welcome aboard. Yeah, that's crazy. What have I been doing today?
Before we talk, not often. Anywho, today is a special stream. We are going for 2 hours. So while we do our normal thing, which is answering your questions, so if you guys want to start getting your questions peeked in the back of your head, start typing them into chat, make sure you know studios when you ask them so that I see them pop up on the little side of my screen and I know exactly where and what to ask. Chris is going to host a game, and what do you have planned for our community today while they are in game with you?
So today, I think I'll host up a server. You guys can join in. We'll go kill some things. We'll maybe visit the Ragnarok spawner. Maybe head over to Lycor, since Lycor is pretty abundant these days. It likes to spawn every 2 minutes, which has been fixed in the next patch. Maybe we'll kill a few forest giants, and I'll give away some stuff. How does that sound? Pretty cool. Cool.
I think that sounds pretty good. So why don't we, just before we head into that, talk about update 10 and where we are with it.
All right, guys. So we've been working really hard on tweaking, polishing things. What you see in the forums right now for game update number 10 is what we've kind of solidified, but we've been fixing a few bugs that haven't been updated in this thread just yet. So, and those bugs being issues with skeletons, having some attack issues, IK issues, and all that good stuff. Things that have kind of sprung up between patches, so we're working on those. The team is also taking a look at doing an optimization pass. So we're looking at our objects in the world, figuring out ways that we could improve performance. And that's what the code group is now focusing in on. And hopefully we can have a remedy by the end of the day. I don't know how long it's going to take. They don't know how long it's going to take because they have to profile the engine and profile all the objects in the world, and they'll figure something out. So maybe if all goes well, we'll have the beta update out tomorrow, but don't quote me on that. The ticker, we're going to push the ticker because we're going to push the update to next week. I apologize, but we want to get this optimization pass, these optimization tweaks in, and I'm sure many of you would agree that that's a good call. Hopefully you agree. But with that, I'd like to talk about some of the cool stuff that's coming up in update number 10. What do we got?
Yeah, because we have a whole bunch of stuff that we've already listed, and we've also gotten some more fixes in, which aren't yet listed on the forums, which I will post up afterwards. So those are both cool things. So why don't you go through your list, and then I'll tack on the stuff that I know about. Okay,
cool. Hopefully there are things that I worked on that I don't know about, but you know about. That would be pretty cool.
No, there's stuff that the rest of the team has worked on that I know about.
Oh, that's right.
Been in email, but I want to call them out to.
Yeah, you do a better job at tracking all this stuff in email than I do. I look at stuff come in, I process it, great, cool. They knock some stuff out, awesome, and then I move on to the next thing. So anyway, the list of cool things. First, what's not on this list? I've kind of reworked Savage Lands a little bit. It's no longer the hyperventilation simulator. So the heavy breathing that takes place the microsecond you start to sprint, we've tweaked that now. So it feels a little bit more natural. Pretty cool. I'm excited. I actually when I made that fix, I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Why didn't I fix this before? So, and in most cases, I just got busy doing other things, and same with the team. So anyway, we fixed issues with the armor not always appearing, so a lot of the rendering issues, the code guys have gone in and taken a look at that. Not to say that there still aren't some issues, but we believe we have everything licked. We fixed issues with the compass disappearing. Some people noted that the compass would disappear every now and then. We fixed that, hopefully. Improvements to the AI behavior. We're continually tweaking and tuning the AI to get it into a better state, so expect good stuff. When achievements are now completed, there's this really cool sound effect that'll play to let you know that achievements, you have completed achievements. Hopefully everybody's really digging the achievements. The idea is that we're going to add 5 to 10 new ones every month. And my goal is to make those progressively more difficult. So you guys got the first round, which were the easy ones, and then I'm going to start layering in the more difficult ones as we go forward. All right, let's get to the nitty-gritty. Crafting, the Golden Reaver. I've increased the amber requirement mats to 3. You're going to start seeing me tweaking and tuning some of the weapons again. I'm not happy with some of the things are a little bit too easy to craft, in my opinion. But we're going to be making some changes to rocks and mining, so we'll see how all that plays out. The longbow mat requirement has been reduced, so it no longer requires like 1 billion tons of sinew, that ropey tendon stuff that comes from animals for the strings. So you no longer need a bunch of that to create the bow anymore. Radiant gems now stack. I increased the stack count to 15. Yeah, pretty awesome. He's getting crazy with the stack counts. Deer are less skittish. I know all of you love sneaking up on deer and trying to kill them. They are just wonderful. It's such an amazing experience. So we've tweaked that a little bit. Basically, tuned down their hearing sensitivity so you can get a little bit closer. Now, for those of you new, a lot of new players coming in, like, I can't kill a deer. That's because the game's not a hack and slash, run up, blah, 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 kill, ooh, meat. No, you actually have to hunt these things down. So the best thing, and you've seen that many players point this out, you have to sneak up behind them. Sneak using the control key, and then use the foliage, like the bushes, to help block line of sight. And that'll help you. As I've, with the hearing tweaks that I've made, coupled with those techniques, you will kill deer every time. All right, special name moms. Helion has been added to the world. You'll find Helion, yellow eyes for a fury, Lycor's second in command, charged with holding up the defenses when Lycor and his mighty 300 fell. You like that? That was good. So you'll find him in the world. Lycor holds a blade.
I'm pretty sure someone has already taken that one.
Yeah, they're hacks. So Helion holds a particular, he drops a particular blade. It's an ancient relic blade. And that blade is going to be needed to forge the Grey Reaver, to basically reforge it into something epic. So go find him, have fun. I'm not going to tell you guys where he's at. All right, so Lycor, I've increased his health by 60%. He's going to be one heck of an encounter now. Attacks no longer randomly do damage. He wasn't doing damage every single time, so he now lands every hit. And I also decreased his spawn rate. So he's an epic encounter, so come prepped, prepared to take him down. Ragnarok, I increased his damage by 15%. I increased his health by 30%. And I've also rebalanced those encounters. So the creatures that spawn with those epic bosses have been retuned. You might see a few plague wolves now. I've also increased the health of undead furies by 20%. Which will make them a little bit more lethal. All Fury item drops have been rebalanced, so I've rejiggered that a little bit, and I've added in a new item into the world, a new bag that drops only from Furies, that being the bosses or the regular soldier Furies that you see, and that is a Fury Battle Satchel, 10-slot bag that you can get from these guys. Pretty cool stuff. So hope you enjoy that. And then we've had, we've added a few other improvements since then. So, Chloe, if you want to go ahead and throw that out there.
Absolutely. So, one of the things that we discovered with one of our achievements, the one that is they only come out at night, which is, of course, find and kill 10 Night Furies, for whatever reason, it wasn't counting if you were killing Night Furies across multiple play sessions. So you had to do it all in one. This will be fixed. Jackie has already got it in the build for update 10. So it will count all of your Night Furies across all the different times that you've played and killed them. So if you were waiting on that one, you were like me going, I'm too lazy to try and do it all in one play session, not to worry, that will be fixed, and it will be as it was actually intended to be, which is it will count across multiple things. And then the other thing that we did was a little bit of optimization on tree burning. Trees weren't always falling when they were burning. It was happening about I think he said it was happening about 40% of the time. That's now been up to 90% of the time. So as a tree goes up in flame, it will eventually fall over. You can now also set a group of trees on fire individually. It won't, just by holding the torch out to one of them, it won't set the entire thing up in flame, which I know Sean is very disappointed about because he's lazy and likes to send great big huge groups of trees on fire for waypoints. But we've done a couple of other well, I mean, you know, when you're trying to find the poor CM who might have a problem with her connection and you're running in one direction and she's like, I don't see where you guys went, having a great big huge tree on fire is useful. I'm just saying. So we have done some optimization around burning as well. There was a fun bug that nobody ever seemed to report, which was as the tree fell, the fire position shifted. So for a while, fire was burning sideways.
I didn't see a problem with that. That seemed legit. That seemed legit.
That's totally legit, right? So
totally
we've done a whole
legit.
bunch of optimizations around trees and burning, and there are obviously still more optimizations to come, which I think we are all going to benefit from. So
but let
that wraps it up.
Well, it doesn't. You know, I forgot one important thing, and I can't believe I forgot it, and that is Kerr is now.
I thought you mentioned him already.
No, I didn't mention Kerr. I'm looking through it, going, oh gosh, I'm such a ding dong. Kerr.
This thing that's great big huge bold and blue on the forum.
So guys,
good job.
I was Kerr is now a force to be reckoned with in the world. He is this constant looming threat that if he finds you, you will more than likely die if you don't have access to stone shelter or find something that you can hide behind. He will kill you. He will hunt you down, and he will burn the forests trying to get at you. This morning, I was playing with my oldest boy. We play every morning. And I didn't tell him that Kerr was active yet. And all of a sudden, he hears the flapping, you know, the wings. And he goes, Daddy, what's that? And I go, you better run. And he looked up, and all of a sudden, Kerr just dive-bombed him and torched him. And he looked at me, and I looked back at him, and he's like, that was awesome. And I'm like, oh.
So Kerr has become Turok from Avatar, The Last Shadow. You hear him, and you're already screwed.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's pretty cool. Actually, you know, I was when we were doing some testing, I was in Argo, and he was in the first Dragon Tower. I ran up, I got into, you know, I aggravated him, and he came, and of course, he jumped up and he came flying after me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm actually kind of scared by this. So I ran into the town, and I ran into the town hall in Argo, and I kept peeking out the door, and I would see him, because once you go into the structures, it breaks the line of sight. You would see him fly up and then kind of swoop around as if he's looking for you. And then after about 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, he'll break off and head back to one of the towers. But it's kind of freaky watching that dragon chase you down and you running for your life and watching the forest behind you catch on fire as he's blowing fire at you, so breathing fire at you. It's really cool. I think you guys are going to dig it. And this kind of segues, you know, as we continue to add more content into the world, Kerr is just going to become more and more epic. You know, and especially once we get the encounter into the world where you'll fight Kerr, which I've already started planning out. It's going to be in the center of the island. It's going to be epic. You guys are going to love it. So anyway, not to go get crazy on that. Why does my chat not work?
Why don't you get started with the hosting, and I'm going to ask you the first question. Sound good?
No.
No, why not? You have more to talk about?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about trees.
Chris?
All right, so I'll go ahead and host the game so I don't get yelled at from Chloe. All right, who wants to play? I got tons of goodies. So, and I'll make sure that the server's open for everybody. You can come, hang out. We'll have a party. I got bear meat for everybody, so we can sit by the campfire. It'll be great. All right. So
maybe every once in a while we can refresh the server so new players can get on. Obviously, people can join and those people leave, but
so what I'll do is every 30 minutes I'll try to I'll kind of kick out a few players. No offense, but I'll kick out a few players and allow new players to jump in, just so people can kind of come and hang out and have a good time with the developers and be part of the stream. So it'll be a lot of fun. So let me get my guy going here.
All right, and while you do that, I am going to mention really briefly, for those of you who follow our social channels, you may have noticed that we have brand new banners for this week to celebrate the fact that Kerr and you are about to have your first face-off. And I did want to call out that if you liked that image an awful lot, we do now have a 1080p version of it on both the SavageLandsGame.com website under media, as well as on our Facebook. So if you want to go and snag that and throw it on your desktop to be able to rep your favorite game, you are more than welcome to. It is a beautiful high-res image that our art director Heinz got for us. So if you are interested, it is out there for you to grab. It is definitely on my desktop right now, and I'm so stoked about it. Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, pretty.
The other thing I forgot to add, Chloe, I'm really on fire today.
You really are. What's up?
I forgot to mention we've added in the next update a new PvP feature, which is the ability to loot the heads of your fallen enemies and put them on pikes, Game of Thrones style. It's pretty darn cool. When you put those pikes, in your world, you'll have kind of a cool head of the player, and it'll also display their Steam ID above the head. Jackie did a great job putting this together. I think you're going to really dig it. Once we officially release the patch, all my islands that I create when I host servers are going to have heads of pikes of other players on the beaches. So when you spawn, you're going to see those that have fallen to my Grey Reaver or Golden Reaver, depending on what I'm wearing. You guys will be displayed prominently in my world. The heads of all the players will be. Of course, now it would be pretty awesome to have Euryidium Signal Studios head on a pike in your world. Wouldn't that be awesome? Be pretty sweet. I think so. Well, anyway, let's take a look at
I actually have a question about that.
Okay.
I'm assuming were you and I to go head-to-head in, say, a dev stream like this.
It wouldn't be fair, but go ahead.
And I killed you.
Unlikely,
and I looted
but okay.
your head. I could take your head back to my world to display it, right?
Yes, absolutely. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, you could literally...
That is actually really cool.
In the world that you have, you could build a pike. They're called Pikes of Victory. And then you place the head, essentially it's a simple combine. Couple wood, head of a player, boom. You got the head, you got that pike in your world. It's very Game of Thrones. I mean, so if you guys go back and look at Game of Thrones, heads on pike, Ned Stark's head on a pike, it's very similar. The Corbett, who did the model for the heads, they're pretty gory. So you guys are going to love it. I dig it. I think it's really cool, and it'll really help decorate your villages. All right, so my game.
I foresee a new. I just before you go on, Chris, I foresee a new collectible within the game, which is people trying to get every single one of the devs from Savage Land, which is going to be hard because you and I stream, and you can occasionally find maybe Logan and obviously our mods on, but you don't often see like Jackie or John or Tom on these streams that, so you can collect them all. So you'd have to do some serious work to try and get everybody from the team.
Actually, that's a great, that would be a great achievement.
That would be.
Defeat a developer and get, put their head on a pike.
Defeat a developer that's not Chris or Kitty. Let's be clear about that.
Usually, yeah, it would be a pretty cool achievement. I think so. Anyway. But maybe.
Anyway. Maybe.
All right.
Just a thought.
So we got players joining the world. This is awesome, guys. I'm in Argo. If you want to come and find me, I'm going to go hide in some of the houses for a little bit. But yeah, you can find me here. There's if there's stuff to loot in the houses. By the way, guys, in my world, take whatever you want. There's nothing I got everything. So you can have whatever you find in the world. Hey, we got silver showing up. All right, hey, bud. Who else do we got?
I'm so pleased that I'm not the only one who butchers names on streams.
Topi.
We promise we don't do it on purpose. We just brains, mouths, they don't mix. Okay, so Arendor just asked a great question in chat, and don't worry guys, if you've already asked a question, I will be going back up, but his is just topical. If a player wants to move where their head of pike is placed, obviously when you destroy something in Savage, you only get a portion of the items back. Is it set up so that if a Pike of Victory is destroyed, will you always get that head back?
I don't know if we thought that far ahead. See what I did there?
Yes, yes.
I don't think so, not right now. I think if it gets destroyed, then you do not get the head back, so be careful. For now, we can talk to Jackie about this, but for now, we can, if you destroy the pike, you'll destroy the head.
Okay.
Hey, look at this. I got my mighty band of warriors assembling. We shall go forth and bring down many skeletons and eat meat and start fires. It'll be epic. Hey, Ramis, Chrisera, Jay, I got that one. Is that Brawls? Oh, that's Ramis. Right? Okay. Why did I say Brawls?
So,
Topi, good. Okay, guys.
Lord Sekhmeth has asked, for people who don't own the game yet and haven't really seen much of it, what would you say our top selling points are right now that we have in the game?
What are the keys?
Obviously, we have a great rapport with our community. We are pretty darn transparent, but those aren't really selling points for the game themselves, but for the early access process of the game's development. So if you had to pick 3 points, what would you say? What would you as the creative director say?
We have a very unique and compelling fantasy world. You know, we went a different direction in the survival genre, where you see a lot of games that have, say, zombies. I'm sure there's only a couple of those out there. Dinosaurs, and we decided to go the more difficult route, which is fantasy D&D style, which has skeletons, dragons, bears, dire wolves, and all sorts of crazy, fantastical creatures that you can think of. So we wanted to make something really unique that stood out within the survival genre realm that you don't see in other games. You know, a lot of survival games, that's not saying that there are not games coming out, but you see maybe 1 or 2 creatures. Our creature list is continually growing. We have unique NPCs that you can kill that give you loot MMO style. So you don't get that a lot in a lot of other survival games. There's tons of armor that you can craft. There's unique weapons that you can acquire and craft. And, you know, we also, in time, soon, we'll have a dragon that you can go on and raid with friends. I mean, how often, other than, say, Rust, where you go raid other camps and villages, you don't get to go on an adventure and raid actually do a raid where you go kill a boss. You just don't do that. So it's a very, it's a unique experience that we're really trying to drive home and build and do something different. That was our goal. Build something different. Cooperative. We do have, I would say right now, we have light PvP elements. You can kill other players, take their stuff. But a lot of the focus is around co-op play, and you can play the game offline, which is super awesome. I mean, I know a lot of people, a lot of other games are dedicated or they're server-based only, and you have to go on and you have to go play on a server. But not in our game. You can play offline. You can play the game how you want in this really cool fantasy-based world. That's continually evolving, growing, and getting better over time. So we're adding more stuff in, and it's becoming this really cool, epic, just epic, fun place to be. If you want something different in the survival genre, Savage Lands is it. And I'll make no bones about it. The game is brutal. There is a brutal ramp up to it. So if you're, I know a lot of players when they see fantasy, they think, wow, this is going to be like World of Warcraft. I can I can just go in and kill a few boar, and next thing you know, I'm level 20. That's not how the game works. The boar in our game will actually kill you.
Yep.
You know, if you
and it's embarrassing when they do.
Yeah, and wolves, you know, are constantly attacking you. So the world's really hostile, but the progression's not necessarily in an experience system. It's in your character. You as a character evolve in this world. You, from the armor that you craft, from the weapons that you forge, to the villages that you build, to the creatures that you slay. So, I mean, that's kind of Savage Lands in a very huge nutshell of what the game is. Hey, somebody built a fire. Super sweet. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really cool elements to this, and on top of that, I think we have, for an early access game, unparalleled community support, which is Chloe, and our moderators, you know, Kryzak and Sean and Devlin Pixie and everybody contributing to this really amazing community. You don't get that. You go into a lot of games. I don't know if you've ever been in Arena Kings, and that community is like hostile. You just get like beat up the second you post. You don't get that in our community. Our community is actually really helpful. There's a lot of cool things to do. Somebody's dual-wielding torches. Awesome. There's a lot of cool things to do, and a lot of people are really helpful. A lot of people have put up great guides to help players get started, or, you know, to explore the world. We haven't put a map in the game. A lot of people have asked for a map. And
in fact, that's actually one of the questions that I was going to talk about. So
yeah, so there's
go right ahead.
There's just a lot of great things about the game itself, but you know, it's still in progress. You know, I saw a review that said that you can get to end game content in less than an hour. I would really love to know the optimal path that individual took to get to the end game, and I think Sean and all the other guys that have been playing for over 100 hours would love to know that optimal path as well, because I don't think you can kill a forest giant or take down Lycor within an hour of gameplay. But I could be wrong. Maybe there's some hack that I don't know about. But you know, there's many hours of gameplay in Savage Lands, and especially right now for $15, it's a steal. It's a great deal that you can get into the game now, because as we move forward, as we get closer to release, you know, the price will go up to a, you know, more of a full product release price. Obviously not $59, but you know, it'll be in a good range. But you can get in early, and you can help shape the game. You can be part of this experience that, you know, you don't normally get to be part of in other communities. So, yeah, there you go. And you can help me design. I love it getting help. I love help in the design area.
and just to help Chris explain this a little bit, I'm going to jump in here, and of course, I remind everybody, if you own the game, you have access to the early access feedback and suggestions forum. You'll often see things get posted in the general discussion forum, and we do move them into that forum because it helps me when I'm running all of my reports to actually go, there's one place for this discussion. But we also have a supplemental Trello board, and what the Trello board allows us and you as our community to do is to nominate a single idea. Let's take dungeons, for example, and flesh it out, have a discussion about what you would like to see, what you don't want to see, if you even want to see it at all, and then vote on that as an idea. What that allows us to then do is take a look at this great big huge broad range of ideas. Things that we are absolutely 100% going to do, dedicated servers, for example, magic system implementation, absolutely those are on our list. But the higher that they appear on your voted list, the more we sit back and go, okay, we had it planned for X date. Maybe we should, maybe we should think about bumping that up, because this is something that you guys really believe is an absolute essential part to our game. And that's one of the things that we really like doing, is making sure that what we are delivering you guys as a gameplay experience is the thing that you want to play. It's not a guarantee that whatever you guys highly vote up will make it into the game, but even if the specific idea doesn't make it in, it will cause us to take a step back and say, you know, we didn't really think about doing that, but the community really feels that it's an essential part of the game. To consider it. So I'm sure my awesome moderators are about to dump a link for the Trello board into chat if they haven't already. And absolutely, we would love to see you guys post on there, comment, make a suggestion if you haven't, if you don't see it when you sort through the list or search through it, and we'll add it to the list. So,
Skulls mentioned he'd really like to see shields. I would really like to see shields as well.
Yes.
I want to get shields in. I actually have shields made already. We just got to get in the functionality and the animations to make it something really compelling and fun. So it's something that's there. We're getting in. By the way, guys, I don't know if I said this, but we're working on 15 new weapons, and we're also working on some new armor that we're going to get in. Some weapons are going to be drop only and then 2 weapons are forged from taking down Kerr. You're going to need Kerr's blood, his heart, scales. There's a lot of cool stuff that you'll be able to loot from the dragon once you're able to kill him. We're also working on new dragon towers. I have them ready, but we're doing this optimization pass right now. I want the code team to kind of figure out that stuff before we put the new towers in. But you'll be able to potentially, and I mentioned this before in another stream, you'll be able to go up to the top of those towers. Which
In fact, you actually mentioned 2 of the new weapon names. Dragon's Bane.
Dragon's Bane and Kerr's Rage.
There we go. And Kerr's Rage is the really cool one that once magic is in, you can make it
Kerr's Rage.
Pretty things.
So the way I'm building out that weapon, it's going to look really neat. The blade itself is going to look like it's molten, and then it'll have a fire particle effect on it, but you're going to need Kerr's blood to forge it. It's going to be, if you got a flaming weapon, and believe me, it's like me standing right now with all these guys. I'm the only one that has the Grey Reaver, which is epic. It's going to be a really prestigious thing to have. And, you know, Kerr's blood, it's going to require a lot. So you're going to have to do multiple raids with players to make this happen. So it's not something that, hey, I got one vial of Kerr's blood, I can foot. No, you're going to have to. I'm going classic hardcore late 90s, early 90s, or early 2000 MMO with this, where you'd have to do multiple raids to forge these epic weapons. And ultimately, these epic weapons you'll need to take down other bosses and creatures that we're currently working on. You know, we have one creature right now that you're going to need certain types of adorned weapons with magic to take out. Also, you know, there's just a lot of cool stuff I got in the works. I wish I had like 5 designers and 40 artists.
It is probably one of the most challenging aspects of our current development limitations. And it's something that we talk about. We are both extremely proud. When I say we, I mean the entire development team for Savage Lands, but it's also something that we are really aware of our limitations. We only have the size of the team that we have. And when people go, oh, well, you know, X game looks so much better, blah, 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 why isn't Savage Lands nearly, you know, as well done? I don't think it's, you know, was ready to go into early access. That's really hard for us to hear because we know, you know, Jackie and John are constantly up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning because I see when their emails come in. We test at all hours. We're constantly bug fixing and working our butts off to make this incredible game. And we're doing some pretty fantastic work with what we've got. But at the same time, we know, you know, if we had additional resources, you know, some of that, we just had one more person, you know, it's just one of those things where that's not a possibility, so we work with what we've got.
Hey, there's a question, guys are like, yeah, HUD is evil. We're actually working on streamlining our HUD. I have a whole, I have a concept artist right now that's redesigning the entire UI for the game. Pretty cool, actually. It's super modernized. We get rid of some of these late 90s, early 2000 kind of RPG look to it. It's going to be very streamlined, I'm going to use the word, it's very sexy. So I'm really looking.
What is a sexy UI?
What
is that?
A sexy UI is a UI that's not intrusive and in your face all the time. You know, it's there. You don't notice that it's there. That is a sexy UI. In my book. Not one with hard lines and 90s Diablo style
Hey,
art.
hey, 90s Diablo style has informed and influenced a lot of games.
Hey,
Don't be knocking.
I like Diablo, don't get me wrong. Diablo was one of my favorite games back in the day. So
so I did just want to quickly hit on Davey Boy's question from a little while ago, and he was asking about shadows. We actually have done a little bit of shadow optimization. I don't have all the details right now. I did see that come in from Jackie, so I will get additional information for when we post those final build notes. Obviously, we're still adding stuff into this current build.
I'll tell you what, Chloe, can I talk a little bit about that?
Do you know? If you know.
No. No, actually, so the new shadow system, you'll be able to choose between hard and soft shadows. In addition to the combination of the two, you'll also be able to set, the visibility distance of shadows, in addition to the layering of shadows, which I don't know too much about, but so I won't speak to it. But there are a variety of options that will give you more flexibility in tuning the shadows, so that you can basically min-max your performance for your machine. So there's a lot of cool stuff. She did a great job. You'll eke out a few more frames per second, and hopefully it'll be coupled with a lot of the performance stuff that the coders are working on right now.
Awesome. So again, there will be more information for you as we get it and as we get a little bit closer to that beta build and beyond to the public release. Okay, so you're off and running, and I'm going to go back to you to make sure I've gotten
I have my merry band of kind of like Furies, but they're not really Furies, but we'll do our best. All right.
Okay. All right. And of course, everybody, if you do have questions that are directed at either Chris or myself, please make sure that you @Signal Studios when you type them into chat. That actually makes them red for me so I can see them and make sure that my eye gets caught when I'm scrolling through chat really quickly.
Yeah, so by the way, guys, when the Golden Reaver goes in, or the Gray Reaver goes in, the first mat, which is the Ancient Relic Blade, will look pretty much like I have in my hand. And then we're going to redo all the materials for the Grey Reavers, so it's a little bit more epic, unique, feels very ancient and magical. Something we still got to do, but I'm going to talk to our artist, our lead artist over here, and we're going to knock some cool stuff out. So that probably won't make it into the initial update, but it'll probably make it into Game Update 11.
If you're just joining the game, either our stream for the first time or you just picked up the game this week, what you'll find that we do a lot of times is we'll put in a basic system that you can start to explore and experience and kind of knock out, what works, what doesn't. And we take your feedback from that and then have that influence us for when we do optimizations for it or improvements to it, all the way up to what is most often, the 2.0 version, which is like what we will probably have in the end of game or end of early access development. So we've got this kind of fluid process, which is great because it allows us to go, hey, you know what, this really isn't working the way we intended it. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, I also, in Game Update 10, hopefully I might be able to fix it. Ooh, I'm running into a camp. I know where I'm at. This is, this is good. This is my, I was inspired, when I built this on like a week or two ago, I was inspired by Friday the 13th, Camp Crystal Lake, and I'm like, I'm going to put all these cool little, I know exactly where I'm at. So when I'm running and I find these little camps, there's a reason why. There's a method to my madness. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, I just got swarmed by wolves. I actually jumped a little bit. They came out of nowhere.
You're getting swarmed by direwolves right now.
No, these
are they hillstalkers?
These are hillstalkers. Direwolves are on the other side of the island.
Is there actually a visual difference between the hillstalkers and the direwolves? Because they look very similar in the bestiary right now, so I'm never quite sure which ones I'm getting killed by.
Yeah, no, we gotta really amp those guys up a little bit. One of them, there is a fur material that we have, but we really need to amp it up and make it better. Just so it's more visual and you can tell them apart. I would like to size up the direwolves a little bit, but I got to check with code to make sure when we do that it doesn't hork animations too much. But it's just it would be a small scale. Direwolves are more powerful. They're going to drop materials that you'll need to forge variant versions of the Savage Wolf Pelt armor.
Right, you're going to be able to go black and white.
The white one I'm actually saving for a new creature that I'm going to.
That's right. Oh shoot.
So I've been Spirit Wolves.
Yes.
So I've been working on the Spirit Wolves off and on when I get a chance. they're actually ghosts, and they roam the world. Ideally, what I want these guys to do, and it'd be pretty awesome to have their AI, that if they come in proximity of plague wolves, they attack the plague wolves. But these wolves are essentially just ethereal spirits that roam at night. But when they die, they'll drop spirit pelts, and they'll also drop spirit essence. And you can use those to forge things like the white armor. The white armor will actually increase your run speed, your sprint duration. So you'll be able to sprint for like a minute. In addition to some other benefits that I haven't quite worked out yet. And the white armor looks amazing. So
do you get to go invisible?
No, you don't get to go invisible. Good question,
maybe with magic, right? Maybe with magic.
What's that?
I said maybe with
no,
when we
I probably want
magic.
Invisibility is like classic, old school D&D. I don't know if I would do that. So you guys will love this. So I know this structure here. I placed it in this particular direction on this house for a reason, because it points exactly to where I need to go for the ruins that are found on this side of the island. Welcome to
nice.
welcome to the way I think, my logic.
Welcome to Chris being I'm lost in my own game.
I'm not lost.
And I need to be able to. Well, you were.
Did I not find that camp? No problem. And then I found the structure. I call it my marker. And I have many markers in the world that point to particular things. Of course, you have to be a dev to really know it, or you just gotta follow them.
To our Steam or our shows, or it would be great though if we could talk a little bit about what your plans are for improving people's ability to build stuff like that themselves. Because we've talked about how we don't want to have a traditional top-down map like you find in World of Warcraft. We're sort of on the fence about even putting in something that you as the player craft. We're trying to hold off because it changes, or it will change very dramatically, the feeling and the size of the island. Once you've got it all recorded, it doesn't feel as large, even though it still is. But we do have some ideas, or we've talked a little bit about having, things that you can build that don't cost a huge amount, that kind of are like signposts and things to that effect. Do you have any further thoughts on that?
I actually want to build out the build system to be far more robust than it is. Structures that have more versatility. You can store things inside structures. They give you more benefit, from having a smokehouse, so you can make cured meats and all that other good stuff. So I've actually been working on a design plan for that, but that's in between adding new camps and things into the world and all sorts of other cool stuff. But I would like to make the whole structure building system more robust. I would like to add more fences, so you can build real fences into the world.
Just kind of hack and slash the weapon racks together.
The weapon racks together. I would like to add, defenses would be cool, but more like traps that I'd like to add into the world, so you can trap animals.
Very nice.
So there's a lot of cool stuff that I want to do. We just got to get to it. There's a lot of work to do. That's the beauty of building a fantasy game, is that there's an endless supply of ideas that you can put into the game. It just goes on and on, because there's so many RPGs that have done such a great job of making these amazing and fantastical worlds. The first thing you think about, well, why don't you do this, and why don't you do that, and why don't you add this, and why don't you do that? We've been asked about a skill system as well. Why don't you add a skill system to the game? Well, I don't necessarily think it makes sense. I'd like progression for the player to actually be in the progression of the player. So as you craft new weapons and as you build the stuff into the world, that's literally you progressing in this hostile, brutal environment.
Yep. I mean, it is a fantasy setting, but it's not an RPG. It is not a traditional RPG. At its core, Savage Lands will always be a survival game. And if we start looking at some of the more outlandish parts of fantasy realm games or RPGs, that actually breaks the concept of a survival game pretty badly, because in a survival game, you only have what is available to you as materials, or as you physically being able to find them. And that actually leads really well into the next thing that I wanted to talk a little bit about, which is the eventual magic system. We know that that's something that we want to get in there. That's something that you guys really want to get in there. But when we do add it, you guys will not become wizards. We've talked a little bit about this before, and Chris, feel free to jump in here. We're looking more to the idea of enchanting and enhancing with enchanting, rather than you as the player all of a sudden discovering this crazy fountain of power within yourself.
Fountain of power. It's not. It's a different way to describe it than I would, but cool. Fountain of power. I like it.
I don't know. I was reaching, and that's what I grabbed a hold of, apparently.
All right. We're going to wait here, guys, that are playing with me, because it's a blizzard out, and I can't see, so...
Well, while you do that, and while you answer, I'm going to get ready to do a giveaway. So what do you want our first giveaway code word to be?
Blizzard.
Blizzard. I should have guessed, right?
Golly. They're
Blizzard.
crucial to the game, but you know, it's funny because I'm like, yeah, blizzards are perfect for the world, but I hate it when they impact what I'm doing.
Which happens quite frequently. Yeah, I mean, especially in a stream, we at least get one blizzard every time, right? There's kind of no way to get around that. All right, so what that means, ladies and gentlemen, while they wait out the blizzard and while I wait for my chat to connect, because what are you doing? Come on, give me chat so I can do this. As soon as I have it up and ready, you are going to be entering in blizzard. There we go. As you start doing it, and I go, where is my control? Hello, control. Come to me. Come to me. Come to me. Do not worry if you have already entered in chat, it will count. And what we are giving away right now is a copy of the game, which is kind of badass, and you will be able to enjoy it. And what it is you can give away it if you already have a copy of the game. You can give it away to your friends. You can give it away on a live stream if you are streaming it, like we are right now. Totally up to you. Oops.
So I'm having one of those moments where I wanted to put in some guide markers in a particular area that I'm at, and then I decided not to. Now I'm like, man, I should have put in those guide markers.
Good job.
But I do have a backup, which is the dragon statue on the west side of the island, points towards the ruins.
I see.
See how I work, guys? It's really simple. So I'm going to run down to the beach, everybody. Follow me. Where to go? To the beach.
All right, so everybody stop entering Blizzard into chat, because apparently Twitch giveaways is borked, so we may have to do this with my backup stuff. Work with me!
Hopefully, well, it looks like I lost my merry band of men again in the blizzard! Hold on, nope.
This is seriously just the day of technical problems. Why are you doing this to us? Why, Twitch? First, Steam decides to go haywire, and we've seen a couple of problems with that, with our servers and posts going crazy, and now Twitch just does not want to make us happy today.
What's
this is
Twitch
bumming
doing?
me out.
What's Twitch doing?
It's not. It's my plugin for the giveaways isn't working properly, and I don't know why.
You're gonna have to. Can the moderators?
I'm gonna have to do it a different way. Okay, let's see if I can do it the alternate way.
Blizzard.
Hang on. Yeah, for some reason, our normal giveaway system just totally
Horked out.
like beyond horked up. Like doesn't even want to recognize that it is connected, and I don't know what's going on. Alright. Please move on even. Yes, okay.
You know, I don't even know.
Alright,
I don't
we're gonna try
follow
this
my own
again.
advice.
We're gonna do this again. So, you are the why? Why could you not? Why? Don't be stupid. Alright. We're gonna do it. Alright, cool. I got it. I got it. So, we're gonna choose. How many winners do you want to do? How many winners do you want to choose right now? I will choose, and we will go from there. Chris?
Let's do.
You need to eat, by the way.
3.
3? You want to do 3? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, as I click the button to
I was heading the right direction the whole time. I was just a little early.
All right, and our winners for today, for the first giveaway, are...
Look at this. Yeah, we all found each other. Woo. Got my manpower. Gonna go kill some stuff.
All right, so congratulations to Mad Molar, Outbreak 1992, and Slayer Solitaire. You guys are the winners of our first giveaway for today. And don't worry, this will not be the only one that we do, although I'm going to do some really quick troubleshooting and see what the heck is going on with my real Twitch giveaway stuff. Please, once we are done by the stream, make sure that you have messaged me on Twitch from your account that you just won from, so I will give you your new codes, and then you can happily go and play or give them to a friend. And so, with that, I've got another question. Oh, we never actually got around to talking about magic because I just totally borked the way that I described it. What are you thinking about magic? How do you feel about the concept of that and where we are? Because we're really not going to be looking at it until after Kerr's encounter is in place, as I recall.
No, I really love magic tricks. You know, I love card tricks. I love rabbit in the hat. You know, it's any kind of cool little magic bits. You know, like little floaty invisible. Oh, like
yeah.
Magic,
like
RPG magic.
Like holding fire in your hand or something.
Well, I think it's pretty cool. I'm trolling you, Chloe. All right, guys, hold on. I'm lining us up here. Hold on. Let's make camp.
Are you running towards the dragon statue?
Oh, we're there now. All right. All right, this will be like right out of Lord of the Rings. Everybody go chop some trees, get some meat. We need food in our bellies. All right, so magic.
Yes.
So I've talked about, you know, you're not going to, I don't want to build, you know, your classic wizard, shaman, MMO, RPG. All right, well, I said build a village. I guess let's go all out with the houses. I don't think that makes sense for the world. You know, this is brutal, it's harsh, it's just, but it's, you know, it's kind of this really cool, fantastical, you know, place to be. So what I want to do is I want to tie magic to the weapons, to the armor, to things like creature taming, being able to craft unique types of weapons or wands, or, you know, wands not necessarily a good word for it, but give you the ability to tame creatures in the world, give you to imbue your weapons with magical properties that allow you to inflict more damage or light up the world. For example, taking my flesh-wrapped hammer here and turning it into something where the hammer itself lights up and I can now have a beacon of light. Inflicts magic damage on certain creatures. Weapons that only can affect things like spirit wolves. You need this particular type of weapon like the Grey Reaver, which is forged from night blooms and the ancient relic blade to take down spirit wolves, which are needed then to create these essences, which create the spirit orbs, which are used to ward off forest gremlins that you put in your camp. So yes, I don't want it to be this kind of, you know, oh, I'll just go to my spell book. I want it to be part of the world. It imbues everything you as a player. You're not just whipping out your magic book. All right, I'm going to put that spell there and off I go. No, that's for MMORPGs. It has to tie seamlessly into this brutal experience that we're building. So it makes sense to tie it into the weapons, the armor, and smaller things that you can craft that, you know, seamlessly fit into the experience that we've built. Hopefully that makes sense. What are we going to do? Maybe you could, you know, maybe you might have a weapon that, for example, Kerr's Rage, that when you attack a creature, it sets the creature on fire. You know, it just sets them ablaze. You could set trees on fire with it when you attack. Things like that. I don't want to get into where you're throwing magic missiles everywhere or throwing fireballs or you put up a spell shield. You know, I don't want any of that. But things that make sense. You know, imbued helmet that actually allows you to see. I think it would be cool to have a helmet imbued with certain types of magical properties that allows you to have infravision so you can actually see heat signatures of creatures at night. That would be pretty cool. Things like, for example, like these spirit orbs that actually keep creatures like plague wolves at bay. They won't get near you if you have a spirit orb in your hand. Or you set the spirit orbs into the world and they float in your camps, and they keep these plague wolves and other creatures out of your camps. They won't come into the camps. Even skeletons prevent them from wandering in near you. They'll actually be kind of warded off by these particular types of magical elements. So that's what I'm thinking. That's where I want to go with the whole magic system in the game.
All right, that's totally fair. And again, as we start to roll it out, you'll see a more basic system come online. You'll start to see, the first parts of that. But like we said, realistically, and we try and be fairly realistic so that we can, establish, what we can do and
well played,
what's
guys.
going to just take more time. So you'll start to see it most likely after the Kerr encounter is in. And the Kerr encounter is slated for the next couple of updates.
Yeah, it'll
so
be.
We gotta build that out.
I got to work with John on the AI and the encounter itself, and come up with a design that makes sense for the AI and what's actually feasible with the technology we have. So it's not an easy thing. I don't want to just say, hey, here's a dragon and go classic MMO, which is it's a creature, you can kill it. No, I want to add a little bit more personality into the encounter where, it's a staged encounter from your first, everybody lining up to take on the dragon, getting through the fortress that we're going to build where you're going to be able to fight Kerr. You have to get there. When you get there, you have to prepare. When Kerr arrives, it's this 3-staged encounter from him, beating him down, excuse me, to him taking flight and burning everything in its path. It has to feel, I want it to feel like it's straight out of Lord of the Rings, or not Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, battling Smaug. I want it to be epic, not just your classic. Literally, players are going to want to dedicate a chunk of time out of their day to fighting the dragon. And it's going to be a killer payoff. You'll walk away from it feeling like you accomplished something epic. So that's where I'd like to go with that particular encounter.
That's fair. And as always, as we get closer to the encounter actually being in-game where you can start to see it, or at least on our dev streams, we will, have more information about that for you. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Magical words of community management that I swear haunt my dreams.
When I was a community manager back in the 90s, I used that a lot too. Stay tuned.
You never hear the words coming soon or it will be in soon, but stay tuned, which rhymes with it. You do that a lot. Jeffwin just asked in chat, as the game gets harder, will you have to have other players to fight bosses and do raids with?
Yes.
Or will we antisocial people get to win as well?
So, yes. On some of the more epic boss encounters, if you look at a lot of MMORPGs and how they're designed, there are certain like sub-bosses that you can kind of, if you're geared right, you can take on. But a lot of the more epic encounters, you will need friends, other players to take down. And that's exactly how I'd like to take Savage Lands with some of these higher level encounters. So you can do a lot of cool things. You can forge and get some really good armor, but some of the legendary stuff is going to require you to work with other players. And luckily I think we've built a survival experience that kind of caters to that whole concept, where you look at a lot of other survival games and it's all about going and killing other players, but in this case, we've built an experience that's actually co-op friendly, which is nice. I think it's pretty cool to have a survival experience that caters to cooperative play.
And
that cooperative play is not everybody getting together in a group, jumping from server to server and killing everybody.
Right. Or just griefing in general. It doesn't, because killing isn't the only way to grief someone. Yep, you can always think about it as a potential content for one of your teams. Gepwin is someone who does Let's Plays of Savage Lands. So if you guys haven't seen his stuff, check it out. So
for all those watching the stream, you can see this is the dragon statue on the west end of the isle. He points towards the ruins where Ragnarok spawns. So with a slight variant towards the south a little bit. So if we head up straight here, we'll eventually run into the rooms, potentially, as long as I don't overshoot them. There's a little bit of wiggle room, but I eyeball everything. That's the fun. Why do we need maps? Maps. We don't need maps. Stinking maps. We'll just use Chris's built-in marker system.
Something that does occasionally come up, and Pathbringer just asked about it in chat, is separate and aside from the enchanting that will most likely come along with the magic system, alchemy. The ability to poison weapons and add those types of things we have talked about quite a while ago, but what are your thoughts on the ability to do that kind of stuff in the future?
Right now we can kind of, I mean, we can set weapons up to do it, but it's not enabled in code. I'd like to do it. So for PvP, you can poison your blades, you can poison your arrow tips. We'd also have to figure out a way to make it work with the creatures in the world, so poison does extra damage, because it doesn't really right now. Poison, most of those detrimental effects are purely, impact the player, not necessarily the creatures. So yeah, I'd love to do it. Just something that we got to add to the list, to the Trello board, everybody. To the Trello board!
Oh, it's already on there.
Oh, boy, I must have missed it.
Poison is actually on there. I, like Sean, spend so much time staring at the wiki, which if you guys haven't checked out recently, you absolutely should. Sean and Dev put an incredible amount of time into that. Sean, when we turned on the bestiary, spent hours going in and screen capping and then transcribing stuff onto the wiki. So if you have a question, that's a great resource, because we've got a ton of information on there, and of course it is always being added to. You can add to it if you are curious about it, or if you know something that we haven't added, because there's a ton of information that's not yet on there. Feel free to add that. I was going somewhere with that too.
Well, I'm just thinking to myself here. Of course,
hey,
yeah.
No, I do know what I was saying with. So while they know what the wiki is backwards and forwards, I know what's on the Trello board backwards and forwards, because I admit I like going in on a daily basis.
Look at that,
Rubio.
The There's our guide.
As you guys vote, I choose like the order of stuff.
Hold on,
the higher
Chloe.
the vote. So.
As I'm streaming this, I found the guide marker. See, I followed the dragon. Now you see this giant stone pillar. We're about to the runes. Bam! Yeah, I love it when a plan comes together. All right, so here we are, boys and girls. Let's start killing. Well, you guys can kill. I got plenty of weapons. Here we are. Woot! This is one of my favorite areas. All right, Chloe, are you all right? You disappeared on me.
No, I'm totally here. I'm still here. Nothing's happened. Nothing's changed.
Right,
I was just typing an answer to someone in chat. They'd asked a question. And
Go
I gave them an
forth
answer.
and kill.
All right. Dark Souls Omega, I'm pretty sure actually had this suggestion made on the Trello board, and it is something that has come up. So since it is the Savage Lands,
it's pretty savage.
What about natural disasters hitting island? Things like earthquakes or tidal waves or anything like that. Hurricanes.
I think I just felt the code team shudder in their boots at the idea of earthquake.
Well, the idea of the earthquake might be interesting, but we have talked about having in-game events, maybe not natural disasters, but sort of the encounter, or Kerr's encounter is kind of the first start to that, where there'll be something that's happening in game. So
yeah, there's I don't know if it's one of those, boy, let's get the game done and then we can explore things like natural disasters and more epic type of or systems that could help us kind of really do these cool epic events. We do have some really fun stuff with the weather system and things that we can do, but I know that from a technological standpoint, it would be a lot of work right now. And there's a lot of other things that we'd want to get in. Would we take it off the plate? No, you can add it to the Trello board. And eventually, it's something we can explore in time. Now, with the Trello board, everybody, there are things that we want players to vote on features, but there's also things that we're going to work on as well. That we're just going to, that will fit in between all the stuff that we want to get in at a core system and a core gameplay level that we actually need to get in. So but we'll look at the board and we'll take, we'll eventually, once we get to that good point, we'll say, okay, yeah, let's work on those features. Let's work on those features, and we'll do what we can to kind of mix those in with what we're already what's currently in our pipeline.
And you can always see on the Trello board, if you haven't checked out the most recent update, you can find links to the previews, which then get translated into the official release notes when we are finished with them. There's a third column, or in the third column on the Trello board is what is currently in the works, and if there is an idea that has already been voted on that we are adding in because it was on our list or whatever, that does get moved over, so you can visually see over time as we do things that there is a progression as well, which is always really neat to see. Stuff that you really like the idea of getting added to the game. So we are giving you guys different ways to visually understand as we add things to the game, because when you miss a patch, it's great to know things bit by bit, but it's sometimes hard to sort of wrap your head around what that actually looks like. So here's one of the ways to do it other than hopping into the game and sort of exploring what that update has brought. All right. What you working on, Chris?
So I just killed I just slaughtered a sundered cotton plant, and it gave me all wood sticks. I know everybody loves the drop rate on sundered cotton. Everybody's some of the best.
Actually, I got a question about that. I do actually have a question about that. Does it always drop 3 little items?
Always gives you 3 bulbs.
3 bulbs?
Yep.
Okay. So if it's gonna drop 3. Okay. And it is possible to get more than one of them to drop, right?
Yes, actually, I just did, Chloe.
Well, your stream hasn't caught up yet.
It's actually it's been archived in the stream that more than 1 cotton bulb will drop.
Well, I just saw you get 3 wood sticks on my side, so remember, I'm watching your stream here.
That's pretty cool, huh? Epic.
No comment.
Right.
Okay. So, looking for another question. As always, guys, I know I keep repeating this, but if you have a question for us, feel free to ask it in chat. Just make sure that you @Signal Studio so that it flashes red on my chat screen so I can see it. One of your favorite questions, Chris?
Oh no.
I know, I can't wait to ask it. When are we adding new arrows and bows? Oh yeah, okay, now I see the 2 drops. I know, it's your favorite question, isn't it?
Oh. Not that I don't want to. We're currently working on a bunch of new weapons, hammers, swords, axes right now. I do want to get in new bows, and I also want to get in new arrow types. The bows, the thing is, coming up with bows, what are the attributes? What do they give the player? That's something that I got to kind of work out. What's the benefit of having like an ebon forged bow or an ebon? The thing with the arrows, you can make ebon arrows, and I know right off the bat what those arrows are going to do. They're going to inflict more damage. But what would the bow itself do for the player? Break down less. I gotta come up with some good stuff. But do we want to get them in? Absolutely. It's not necessarily hard to put in new arrow types. I just want to make sure we put in the right arrow types as well as the right bows. So yes, that stuff. After I get past this first pass of new weapons into armor, I'll take a look at the bows and see what we can do.
Sounds good. We have talked about in the past, potentially adding things like crossbows and other types of projectile weapons. So that will likely be a conversation that happens around the same time. No time frame on it, but another question that's been asked a couple times.
See, Chloe, I got distracted. I actually just got myself lost. Somebody light something on fire.
We're gonna have to sit for a few minutes for them to hear that you've asked that, or type it into chat.
I wasn't paying attention, and no, I know, Chloe. I never get lost. I know exactly where I'm at. I found it. I was just seeing if you guys were paying attention.
No comment. Lockable doors and/or chests. As we have more and more players playing, and we're working on public stuff, and we've got people hosting public games. That's definitely something that we are aware of and we've been watching feedback on, but have we had any further discussions about it? I know it came up a while ago, but we were focused on getting PvP in at the time. I think it's the last time we had any serious conversation about it.
I think lockable chests and lockable doors are something, you know, that's something players have asked for. It's, you know, you can find those features in other games, other survival games. You know, let me ask you guys, I mean, I got people on the stream. You know, we could do lockable chests, lockable doors. Would you guys want to like bury your stuff out in the world so you can come and find it? What would, you know, that could be something we could put up on our Trello board and allow players to vote.
Absolutely.
Do you want lockable chests and doors, or do you want to be able to bury your stuff out in the world so you can find it at another time? What do you guys think would be pretty cool?
We could do a featured discussion about it on the Trello board, actually, where I put two pinned posts, well, two items up at the top, and we can kind of sort of go to lockables or, you know, the hidden cache buried idea, and then just let people vote on it. Now, I know both of them are actually on there, and lockables does actually have a head start, but I could, you know, mess with that.
Yeah, let's get it up there and see what people are really into.
We'll do that. I will do that after the stream today. Because I'm not going to try and do it while I'm doing it right now.
That's unfortunate.
And yes, you can actually vote for both. And if you have ideas about how you would like to see either one of those ideas implemented, you'll definitely be able to actually, you know, post your comments on those cards. Trello works in such a way that we actually have a public board that you guys can comment and vote on. You just need to register an account with Trello. It's just their requirement. Part of what it is it ensures that it's one vote per person. Obviously, you can vote on multiple things, but only on once per idea, which actually gives us a far greater idea of how many people actually are interested in having that kind of idea added to the game. So it makes my life much easier. Which I realize is not, you know, everybody's priority, but it's certainly mine.
Oh, fury.
Wait, where are you running to? What are you aiming for, Chris?
I'm looking for cotton plants. I want some cotton.
Why are you looking for cotton plants? Go look for a forest giant. That's more fun.
Well, no, we want to kill Ragnarok. That's why we're here in these ruins.
I see. You're waiting for him to spawn.
Yeah, we got to get him to spawn, so we got to kill everything in the area to get him to spawn. If we don't, then we will fail. That's how it works.
Really? He only appears if you kill X number?
I can't give the exact details on how the spawning system works.
In other words, Chris is totally making shit up, and he's trying to troll not only me but all of you guys.
No, really. There's a way to get it. You got to. It's classic. It's old school. You kill stuff, and he will spawn. And
he'll spawn. Kill the Night Furies that are. Okay, so.
But the sun is starting to peak up, so chances are spawners could have shut off here in just a second.
Really quickly, let's talk a little bit about the Night Furies, because in the last stream,
I
finally made the connection that the Night Furies aren't
Undead Furies.
Sorry, Undead Furies. Why do I keep calling them Night Furies? They're not dragons. It's a totally different IP.
What are you doing, Chloe?
I'm apparently telling you that I want to be able to ride a Night Fury dragon. I want to be able to tame a dragon, and I want to be able to ride it. That is where I'm going with that. Okay.
Well, I think it would be pretty cool if you somehow could control the monoliths, plural,
would be pretty badass.
And then somehow Kerr, then you're kind of exempt from from Kerr. And every player that Kerr kills, as long as the monoliths are under your control, you get the points for on the leaderboards. That would be pretty cool.
Oh, that would be interesting. But we gotta have leaderboards to be able to do that. Okay, so Undead Furies.
Who's to say we don't?
Who's to say?
Yet.
We don't have them yet. We don't have them yet.
Yet.
So Undead Furies, the Fury part of that is actually what they were called when they were alive. The 300 Spartans. They're always Spartans.
They were Furies.
They were Furies. They were furious in battle.
They were furious.
So, what was it? I'm asking for some lore here. What was it about the magic that Kerr brought or has unleashed that caused them to twist in such a way? Come on, Chris. Come on, Chris.
He's
You've
a dragon.
been thinking about this for months. I want to know.
He's a dragon.
But what is he inherently evil then? Is that what it is? Is it an item that he's looking for? Because we know the monolith showed up.
Every dragon has their own reasons why they do things.
Well,
Kerr,
about their
and like most dragons, if we go by traditional lore, they're power hungry, want control, and they want it all. They want to be powerful. They want to be the most powerful. There is something on the Sundered Isle that Kerr wants, but he can't get, as I've explained before in the past, because of the forest giants. The forest giants have been on the island since creation, and they protect something that Kerr was drawn here to this place to get, to take what's his. That's why he patrols. He looks for a chink in that armor. And if you look at how the forest giants are kind of populated, they are protecting something. And he can't get through it. But as more players come to this place, they are doing what he wants. They're doing exactly.
Which is killing all the poor forest giants.
They're weakening. They are weakening the defenses that are in place to protect these relics.
I see.
So,
see, I told you guys it's a bad idea to go and fight the poor forest giants.
Yes.
I don't care about Night Bloom. It's not useful yet. Don't kill the forest giant.
Night Bloom is actually very useful because you need it to forge the Grey Reaver.
But it's not in the game yet. There's no.
No, it's not in the game. In the next update, it'll be in the game. But Night Blooms are incredibly. They contain the essence of the Sundered Isle, and the Grey Reaver is one of the few blades in its lore contains the essence of the Sundered Isle. It's a magical blade. So
at some point we're gonna see Kerr actually go and attack the forest giants, right? Like
maybe.
that AI interaction that a lot of people have asked for. We'll eventually start to see that.
Maybe it would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? But he stays away, or maybe he can't, and there's other reasons why. He just cannot take them on directly. There, for whatever reason, his magic does not it collides, with their magic.
We'll see. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens.
We will, Chloe. Don't mess with my forest giants. I like them the way they are.
I'm not messing with them. I'm technically adding to them.
Yeah. So the Night Blooms, I know everybody's asked, well, what are they used for? I told, collect them. And I know some of you, like Sean, probably have like 100 of them or 1,000 of them. Or more. But they will be used. They are needed. They're going to be used in more mats, more high-level mats for legendary weapons as we go forward. Especially weapons that embody the essence of the Sundered Isle. So they're very rare flower, very magical flower. We're going to probably redo the art for them as well. I may make them only spawn at night when you find them, or if you drop a forest giant. So a lot of things are constantly being reworked. This is so you guys are experiencing a game in alpha, and in alpha, every game that I've ever worked on, this is the type of iteration that we go through. Constantly tuning, tweaking things. I'm not, when a game is early access like this, which I love, we're tweaking things. We're making things work. Some things that may not have made sense at a particular time, we rejigger it to make sense. This is just game development. It is an iterative process to create a great experience while adhering to the core pillars of the product, which is a fantasy-based survival, brutal, hostile environment. So we have to shape it all around that. So things change. I mean, a lot of you are going to be like, why did you... I remember when I pulled the Grey Reaver out, everybody was like, what? What are you doing, you madman? And then, of course, my goal was to reintroduce them once I added the right NPC into the world. I want, and you're going to start seeing now more and more weapons and armor and components having multiple crafting layers to them. So there's that.
A question that we saw, that I saw a little bit ago. What?
Hold on, Ragnarok is dead. Cool. Let's go kill some giants.
Whoever's dual wielding the torches,
it's awesome, isn't it?
I don't know who's running around with that, but that's brilliant. It's your torchbearer. It's your torchbearer running through the world.
Yes, we got to have the squire. He's the squire of the group. All right.
We need to also be able to stick a banner on the back of him. So,
Yes, there
or
we go.
have someone
Awesome, guys.
have a portable, what were they called? Oh, what did the Roman legions called? Were they standard bearers? Like whomever, like I just totally saw a legion and they had them. Oh my god,
Hold
or
on.
the eagle.
You'll get it in chat just a second because there are
Yeah.
people far smarter than us.
They'll totally. So somebody just asked about a potential female dragon, and that is something that we have talked about adding in the future. There is supposedly plans for a second dragon, who is as of yet unnamed, but she does exist in the plan.
So I want to, before I answer that question, I want to say thank you to Tony. I'm glad you like the passion that Chloe and I have for the product, as well as the rest of the dev team. We put a lot into the game. We work all the time to make a great experience. This is why we do weekly updates. The entire dev team is behind the game, making a great experience. So you're gonna get in. You're gonna be part of a great community of players that love helping each other and finding out cool stuff. And then you got a wacky and crazy game director guy that just is wacky and crazy, and an awesome community manager that will answer your questions, as long as and a great moderating team that does a fantastic job of organizing forums so that us devs can do our jobs and do them well. So you're welcome aboard the Savage Bus. With that, as I have our party here, I gotta take a quick break, and I'll be right back. All right? Can I do that? Can I do that on stream? Can I take a break? I'll be right back.
Depends. You're not allowed to go back to your desk because I have no way to come chase you down.
I'm not going to go to my desk, but I will be right back. I need to get a drink. All right?
All right.
So
I know exactly how long it takes to go to the fridge.
Give me just 1 second. I'll be right back.
All right.
All right.
So,
can you manage this, Chloe? You got this?
I can.
All right,
Would you
great.
go so I can give stuff away?
All right. Go give stuff away.
I'm going to.
All right.
Go away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're going to do another giveaway. My normal system, apparently, the add-in has actually just broken. That happens in, technology. So we're going to do it a different way, which is just going to be random draws from the community, from our current chat list. So if you are here right now, you have the potential to win. How awesome is that? And I'm going to do an incredible 5 picks. 5 people get to win. How awesome is that? So, allow me a few moments while I set up the system here. And I'm going to go and trace down the people who run the app after this, because I actually really, or who run the plugin, because I really like that plugin. Or if nothing else, I'm going to go source a new one because I really like that system, and I'm bummed that it's not working. So, let us start picking. All right. So, all right. So the first winner is Roger, or Roger, number 1, or Roger 1. And our second winner is Endelin. So congratulations to you both. Third winner is. Hey, work with me here. Work with me here. Marquise, 84. Congratulations. Michael O. Show. You are the 4th winner. And the last winner for the moment is Rick Binary, and I don't know what the last part of your name says in binary, but it is Rick 10011011110, and I think I said that right. But congratulations, guys! You are proud owners of Savage Lands. Please message me after the chat is over, or after our stream is over, and I will send you your codes. It is a free copy of the game. If you already have a copy of the game, that is totally fine. You may gift it to a friend. You may give it away on a stream. If you do that, you can give it away as a prize in something else. It is totally up to you. We want to make sure that you guys enjoy the game and that you help us spread the word of Savage Lands. We kind of dig this game. And we think that you do too, because you show up to our streams all the time and you're super involved on Twitter and on Facebook and on the forums, which we absolutely love. But we want more people to be able to enjoy it. Because that's how we make an awesome community, and that's how we make an awesome game, and that's kind of what we do this for, is because we really like it. So, yeah. Okay. Chris, have you come back yet? Chris? He's totally sitting there, which I can't see yet, and trolling me. Alright, so if anybody else has any questions, as of course I'm going to be going back, making sure that we haven't missed any questions. Actually, now's a great time, since I just mentioned Twitter and Facebook and our website. Those are the 3 official places other than the Steam forums to always make sure that you find information about the game. So you can find us on savagelandsgame.com, and I'm pretty sure that my awesome mods are about to throw the command in chat, which will give you these links. You can find us on Twitter at savagelandsgame, or on Facebook at facebook.com/savagelandsgame. And those are these that if you want to find out the latest things that we're working on that are happening in the game, those are 3 of the places that you can do that. Obviously, you can find all that or most of that information also on Steam in our official Savage Lands forums. When you own the game, make sure that you are logged into Steam when you actually go to the community hub, because we have 2 private early access forums for you guys to report bugs in, as well as to actually provide us feedback and suggestions. Now, we also have the Trello, and we have the wiki. Again, great links to have as reference for you, and make sure that you are using them as you need. And of course, you can find us here every week on Thursdays. We normally run about 1 hour, but this week, because it is special, because we are 12 weeks in, and because we do have the sale going on, we wanted to make it a little more fun and a little more exciting. Hey, Chris. Since we are at the technically hour-and-a-half mark, why don't you go ahead and reboot the server, and go do something else, and we'll get back to questions.
All right, we got to do the long run. So let me get my bearings. All right, cool. We're ready to rock.
Where are you running to?
We're gonna go kill a forest giant. Somebody already took down.
You totally just missed that whole "let's refresh the server" part, didn't you? So new people can come join. I know, but we said, and people want to come join you.
I feel bad. I got to kick people out. Not my fault. All right.
No, it's not your fault.
All right. Got to reboot.
Let's see if
So everybody on there right now, I'm going to host up the game. It'll be, hold on, let's see. Host options. It's like Euryidium Signal Studios server, so you guys will know exactly. It'll say Signal Studios in the name. Just jump in. Anybody can join. Well, let's hold on, Chloe.
What?
All right, never mind. We'll do that. All right, so we're gonna jump out. I wanted to go kill a forest giant, but Chloe's not gonna let me do it.
Sorry. Well, you can go do it in the next part of the stream.
All right, hold on. Now, we're gonna start a new server, everybody. All right, we're out.
Okay.
Thanks,
All right,
Chloe.
you're doing that, and I'm going to ask another question. Java developer has asked, what are the plans for actually adding additional lore to the game? How will that actually be added? The format of which people will be able to discover things other than me pulling it out of you on a stream.
Hold on. I'm currently being distracted by the president of the company right now.
Hi, DR.
How will lore be introduced into the game? So we're going to do things like pages and journals and tomes that players will be able to collect in the various villages and towns and camps so that they can get backstory about the world. Some of the creatures in the game might drop these tomes or pieces of parchments as well. Yeah. They may drop these pieces of parchments as well. Sorry. So it'll be done through, kind of tried and true traditional RPG means where you find these pieces of information spread throughout the world. How's that?
That works.
All right.
I have to admit, I'm one of those people who, when I'm in a game like this that has this really rich background that we're slowly starting to hear about. I like having numbers on things, which in terms of like collectible numbers, not like diary entry number 5 or whatever, because I like being able to go and find everything and make sure that I've learned absolutely everything, and I will hunt things down through far too many hours in a game to make sure that I've collected absolutely everything. So I'm really excited.
Okay, so Mean Sai, I believe that's how it is, said, skeleton dropping lore parchment, that totally makes sense. I kind of agree, because you don't find skeletons dropping meat in our game. They don't drop gold, because why would a skeleton have gold? You may only find this parchment on the Furies, because the Furies have bags that they carry stuff in that obviously when they die, some of their armor. So
isn't that just new this upcoming patch?
Yeah, and I'm making stuff up as I go here. So as we kind of, so let me put it like this. As we introduce lore into the world, it will be done in a way that makes sense for the theme and world and story and fiction that we've built. So it's very possible that some skeletons, some, not all, may have these bits of lore in them, or parchments or tomes or diaries of, talking about who they were and their family or things like that on them in their satchels. How's that? All right.
That
so
makes sense.
We will integrate it so it makes sense for the overall experience.
It's true, because one of the things that you actually brought up at the very beginning was you didn't want to have something on a skeleton like gold drop randomly that never made sense, because
I mean, I love MMORPGs. I love WoW. I played a lot of EQ back in the day. But when a skeleton would drop gold, even in Diablo, it's like, why? What is the skeleton going to do with gold? And it doesn't make any sense for a survival game that's built around this concept of this brutal, harsh world. It just or even meat. Why is a skeleton carrying deer meat? What's he going to do with deer meat? Now, unless we have zombies. Now, we could add zombies. Everybody loves zombies, right? So we could add zombies, and you could get things like decayed flesh, but we already have that. Now, rotting flesh off a skeleton, that kind of makes sense. Cloth shreds because of whatever they have on, yeah, that kind of makes sense. So we try to build it fictionally, so logically it works. Not necessarily, we need a loot dropper, and we'll just add it to the skeletons. And that's just, for this particular game, seems kind of, and world, it just seems kind of silly.
That makes sense. I'm not gonna disagree.
All right.
Anywho,
I'll be in. I started a new server. I'll be in Argo. We have 15 minutes now. We can make a hard sprint towards the forest giants if everybody can get there.
A little bit longer because we were a little late starting.
Oh, that's right. No fault of
mine.
mine.
About 10 minutes over. Anywho, Dark Raven has asked in chat, with Kerr going to be attacking the players, what are our thoughts on adding caves or bear dens, for which may or may not have hibernating bears? It's actually a really good idea, since, bears do actually hibernate in winter. Or caves that could lead to burial catacombs infested with enemies, so you have to choose to die by the dragon, Kerr, or by bears or other enemies.
It's a great idea.
It is.
It's it all depends on, again, it comes down to our development process and pipeline where we're at. Do we want to put bear dens in? Do we want to put animal dens in? Or do we want to put dungeons in? Or do we want to put larger encounters? I would love to have dungeons in time, but that are not instanced. And many of you that have played WoW or other MMORPGs know what I'm talking about by instance. You basically just seamlessly go into these dungeons and caves and Salvar, he's the torchbearer. Is
DR still in the room?
He is. He's like, wow, there's a guy with 2 torches. I'm like, this guy is our torch guy. He makes sure that there's light in the world. I love it.
Heartblade has asked a couple of times, and we have definitely talked about this on previous streams, about floors and foundations for the maps. Or sorry, for building.
We don't want to put floors or foundations in at all. It's something
we we appreciate the fact that logs roll out of your home.
Yeah, everybody loves that. Yeah, we'd love to do that. Ideally, we'd want to have some type of basic terraforming, so when you drop a structure, the environment kind of conforms to where you place the building. I mean, that would be the ideal solution, on top of having basic wooden floors as well.
Absolutely. It would be nice. Because I think at this point, the only building that actually has a floor is the town hall, which, you know, makes sense because it's a step above in terms of the building environment. It's sort of one of those next complex buildings that we've talked about in the past. Let's do a quick recap because we have a lot of folks who have probably just joined us for the first time this stream. Let's talk a little bit about the upcoming animals because we have a whole bunch of different types, both hostile mobs and, of course, friendly, normal creatures, general creatures that are additional food sources and stuff like that. So let's go into that a little bit.
Some of the best streams.
On the normal creature, the non-hostile, there's got to be a better way for me to describe that.
Sorry,
Creatures,
Chloe.
we have things like goats and rams. And hey, if we have rams, does that mean that we're going to be having wool as a?
It's very possible. Well, we got goats, we got rabbits, we got a lot of creatures that we're currently putting in the hopper. Nate and Corbett have been working on some new type of trolls that we want to add into the world. We got forest gremlins that are kind of waiting in the pipeline. Trolls, we have two types of trolls. They're the kind of basic mundane trolls that would follow these interesting looking NPC, like boss-like NPCs that we have as fodder that they would send at you and attack. So we're working on some really cool things that we're getting in, but you know, we're kind of, it's a matter of getting the AI in for these things. That takes the longest.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
we're banking up all these creatures. I also want to get birds into the world as well. Birds would be awesome. From giant vultures. A lot of guys in the forums had some good ideas about when you die, instead of having the icon, you have vultures that kind of circle around your character. Well, I'll tell you what, I'd like to have both. You have carrion birds that kind of circle around your corpse, in addition to the moniker. The moniker is important because it's helped a lot of players. I think anybody new on this stream that's died that was kind of concerned that they would lose their corpse and then they saw that icon appear would say, thank you guys for putting that in. I'm sure many of the old schoolers on the stream though would say, man, oh, what are they doing? I remember a time when you had to remember exactly where you died. And if you didn't, you were hosed. So those are
Don't make fun of those people.
Those are the good old days. But I did ease up that initial experience for a good reason, so that players could get them. It's easier to ease into the overall gameplay experience without, that's it is a frustration. Now the challenge is getting back to your corpse. Who knows what's going to be around your corpse? There could be wolves, there could be bears. So that's really the challenge. Finding your corpse. I conceded on making it easier. I thought it was a good idea.
Well, and one of the things that we have talked about as we get closer to the idea of dedicated servers is actually giving server hosts or server admins the ability to kind of go in and specify how hardcore they might want to make the game actually be for that server. So the idea of being able to enable or not the concept of building decay and stuff like that. In this case, that might actually be something that potentially maybe we could make available as well. So if you really wanted a hardcore experience, you have the ability to toggle that death marker on and off. Potentially.
If we add difficulty to server, when we get dedicated servers in, it could very well be part of the difficulty setting if we add difficulty settings to the server. So you could play on hardcore or you could play on noob. And if you play on noob, then, all the easy things, wolves may bite you and they do 1 damage. Where if you play hardcore survival, then you things like the death marker don't appear, cold is cold, and, we'd have to investigate it into greater detail.
You're right. I'm not talking about any promises. I'm just asking, would that even potentially be an option?
All right.
And I'm sorry, I can't remember who actually asked this question, but someone did ask about the ability to become female, or to choose the female, not to become female.
It will be full of devs.
And one of the things is we are planning to have a female character model, absolutely. We're also looking at ways to do a custom character, which will allow you to add some variety to your character's outbringing. And once that system is in place, the ability to actually be female should also come along roughly around the same time or shortly thereafter, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm in the middle of working on a you guys are like this part of the UI redesign that we're working on, making things super sexy and flow really well. In that process, I've also created a character customizer, so which would support female characters in time, but one of the things that we want to get in is the ability for you to customize how you look, from your complexion to tattoos to accessories to piercings to really cool hairstyles, eye color, different faces, different body types. So if you want to be the big guy, you can. If you want to be the super skinny guy, you can. If you want to be athletic, you can have that as well. So it's something that's something we want to get in, hopefully in the next month or two, if all goes well.
Because I freely admit, I like playing as female characters when I have the option to do so.
Yes, it would be pretty cool. And female characters are something that will come along. They will come along. There's no time yet when they will come along, on top of the billion other things that we have to get in. So I weigh it out. Do I want to get female characters in, or do I want to get more creatures into the world? Do I want to get more items into the world? Do I want to get more things for players to do in the world? Those are the hard choices
our resources
that we have to make.
Are constrained.
Yeah. So we're doing this with 7 guys, a 7-member team. So it's a lot of work with that many people. So we have to really kind of plan out what we do, not space out what we do, but plan out what we do, so that when we hit these things, they have an impact. And they improve the overall game experience. So,
suffice to say, it is really important to us. Of the 7 dedicated members, there are 2 of us who are female. We feel it's very important. So does the rest of the team. It's not a question of whether it's important or not. We feel it is. But as Chris says, it's just a matter of resources.
Yes, Jexy May. Yes, I agree. The world would be a better place. So. All right, so
saw the chat comment. Got it.
All right, got it. So there you go. Got to watch the chat to understand that response. So, all right, more. I love chat. I really do love chat. This is a highlight of my week. It just makes me laugh.
Yes, I could tell because you're allowed to screw off for
yeah, I got like
hour
2 hours today that I can mess around and have fun and. Other than doing that work, always having to work. I haven't even shaved. I've been so busy. I just haven't even shaved. So scruffy.
Chris, I don't need to know.
Oh yeah.
What your inability to have.
I just can't even. I can't even think. I got to just get game stuff in. That's the life of a dev. Hardcore indie. By the way, Chloe, we got to talk about this weekend. We have an interview coming up. Correct?
Yes, I was going to mention it. Don't worry.
We are getting close.
Do you want to do it, or do you want me to do it?
You do it, because I want to give away bags of awesome right now to everybody in my server.
Well, and then you should be running your butt off to go find it.
We're never going to make it to the Forest Giants. The Forest Giants are like a 10-minute journey.
All right. So, Chris is, if you're interested in watching a stream on Sunday, Chris is going to be joining the OP Noobs for a really interesting developer chat. And he's going to be talking with a couple of other developers from Folk Tales and oh my gosh, I'm gonna go look that up real quick because I don't want to speak off the top of my head and get it wrong. There will be reminders on Facebook and on Twitter, so if you want to, go check it out, you can go see when it is, and all that stuff will show up on Saturday to make sure that you remember about it. And the full team, number of people who are in that are going to be, there we go, TP16, Folktale, and Starpoint Gemini 2 are the other game devs that are going to be talking on this particular sort of dev chat. It's about what the role of independent developers and games are in the industry, how Kickstarter and early access have influenced both positively and negatively game development in general, as well as a large number of other questions. I'm really excited for it because I like being able to, you know, listen to people who are in my industry and kind of learn something. So
yeah, I got some of the hardest questions too, which is...
You did? I was looking through and I'm like, well, you're not just going to be talking about those. Like the way that it's going to work is all of the devs have been assigned sort of questions to take point on, and then everybody else will join in on the conversation. But Chris has 3 questions where everybody else has 2.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they know that you've just got, you know, a crazy amount of experience. So definitely check that out. That will, like I said, you can find information on it on Saturday. It is on Sunday, and you can check it out and see if it's something that you're interested in. It is on the OPN Streaming is their Twitch handle. So if you're interested, make sure you check them out. It should be fun.
By the way, Salver is now officially in every server that I create as he's designated the torchbearer. He will follow us around and he will light the way. I like this. This is good.
Shouldn't he be running out in front?
But his torches are dead now. But it'll be his responsibility to make sure that the torches never go out. There's always light. But yeah, it should be a really cool and exciting stream. You know, especially talking, you know, there's going to be a lot of cool talent talking about the games that they've worked on. I'll get to talk a little bit about my experience over the last 20 years of gaming, what it's been like going from having to create proprietary tools and work with proprietary tools to being able to, you know, work in a more agile environment now with, you know, engines like Unity and Unreal. So I'm super excited. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome. And with that, because we are actually about the last few moments, the last time I gave away 5 copies because you were gone so long and I had to give them something. So let's do another 3 giveaways and I will do random again.
I just look at Salver and I think of something right out of Mad Max. It's like, I got this guy. He's just torches. I love it. He's the guy that you got to have in the group that all he does, he's the torch guy. It's awesome.
Very nice. All right. So,
there's a golden reaver right there. Anybody? Woo! Super awesome looking weapon. Sorry.
All right. Actually, I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do
do I have
another. I'm gonna do no. Nothing's wrong. I'm choosing my winners, and I'm deciding that I want to do a few more giveaways because you guys have been awesome. We super appreciate your patience today with some of the technical issues, which are always fun to have to deal with, as well as, you know, just showing up a tad late, which was entirely my fault, and I hate moving, and oh my god, can I not be moving anymore? So I'm gonna do another 5 giveaways, and I'm just typing out the winners in chat. Okay, there we go. Oh, I've misspelled it. That's why it's not showing up. And the last winner is going to be... Alright. So congratulations to Lance the Gamer, Heraduth, Lothriel, oh my gosh, Bishbosh, and Demper. You guys are our final winners for today, so congratulations. That is 6 if you are counting, so I actually just doubled the winners. Absolutely congratulations. Thank you so much for joining us today. We absolutely appreciate that. Thank you for following us on Twitch, on Steam, you know, at Twitter, on Facebook. We really appreciate that you guys are interested in the game. As one last reminder, you can find us on our official website at savagelandsgame.com, on Twitter at savagelandsgame, on Facebook at facebook.com/whack savagelandsgame.com. And of course, we have other goodies, our Trello and our wiki. So that is it from me. Chris, would you like to have the last word?
I always love having the last word. It's a great thing to have. So, thank you everybody for coming today. Salver, appreciate the torch bearing. That made our experience epic. You're invited to every server that I host. I need a torchbearer, so you are designated the guy. That is your role. So, but in general, thank you everybody. All those new players and community members that have joined in for the first time on stream today, thank you. And I hope that your experience in the Savage Lands has been pretty epic. The game's early access. There's still a lot to do. There's a lot to see in the world, but we're working really hard as a dev team to make a great game for you guys. You can participate in the overall development by contributing feedback, going to our Trello boards, which you can find in our forums, and voting on what you'd like to see. Most importantly, I'd like to thank the community as a whole. You guys are great. I love seeing all the help and support that you give us, as well as new players in the community. I think it means a lot, especially you old schoolers that have been around for a long time now. That have just put in hundreds of hours you guys can say that you've put into the game, which is phenomenal. I mean, I think I'm at 980 in terms of the number of hours I put in, 980 hours. I'm about to breach that 1,000-hour mark, but you guys are up there. You're doing a great job, and thank you. This is a great, we're looking at making a great game. We appreciate all the support, and hopefully you guys, you'll stick around or at least come back every so often if you go and find other games to play, because we all do. Come back and check us out every couple of months, because every week we try to do something new. You'll see a lot of good stuff. Hopefully, and by the way, guys, as I'm putting in new camps into the world, I apologize if I clobber your camps. And suddenly you log in a patch and you find that there's a town hall or some structure sitting in the middle of your house. I do apologize, but I do pick out really good locations, much like you guys do, of where to place stuff. But luckily you can destroy your structures and rebuild. You can rebuild in other places. But there's a couple guys I've been spot on at nailing their camps every time. So I apologize, but it's necessary so that I can build out the world and make a really cool experience for all players. So thank you guys. Appreciate you coming to the chat. Appreciate everybody joining the server today. Hopefully give away a lot of good goodies here. Salver, again, thanks for holding up the torches. And that's all I got. We good, Chloe?
All right.
All right, now I got to figure out how to turn this thing off.
We will see you next week.
Next
Thursday. Next Thursday.
And next week, guys, the patch, we're going to update our ticker. We're going to put out the patch next week. I apologize, but we are, we'll be the first ones to tell you it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. So next week we'll put out the patch. Yeah, we got to get a few more tweaks in. But hey, we do update the game, and that is proof. The proof is in the pudding, as my old boss used to say at Petroglyph. The proof is in the pudding. You can see by the update cadence that we've had over the last 2 months. So with that, thank you, everybody. We will see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Peace out. All right, now I got to figure out how to turn this off. Click this button.
Big button.
So I'm looking.
Big button, Chris.
Oh, gosh, I need my glasses. All right, got it. All right, see ya.